or to say, hey guys, it's Klaus. I'd like to extend my warmest welcome to the over 50,000 of you from all over the world who have chosen to tune in order to share vicariously together these few precious moments every morning. How have we created this family? How have we achieved this? It's time not for pontification, but explanation. A dissertation, an enunciation of the reasons is what is required. A wise man once said, in the past, we do not do these things because they are easy. We do them because they are hard. And that is true. That is true. Even at a very young age, we learn this. The first time we wipe our ass, we realize it's not easy, it's hard, but we have to do it. Do you remember your first time? Did you use enough paper? Did you fold it correctly? Did your finger poke through? Yet with perseverance and practice, we finally become proficient. But it's not easy. It's hard. It's still hard. You have to concentrate. And in fact, wiping our asses is one of the few activities that humans are involved in that we do without using our cell phones at the same time. There are no distracted ass wiping laws in place in order to guide us, yet when we endeavor to partake in this activity, we concentrate with 100% of our psyche. And so I submit to you, my fellow Klausians, as we gather together here like a family daily. Some of you arriving before you've wiped your asses, and some of you arriving after. It makes no difference. We do not judge. We are all Klausians. I submit to you all that we are here, not because it's easy, but because it's hard. And I know this for a fact because my friends tell me that. Klaus, it's hard to listen to you. And they take a break. They don't call me. And I hang out by myself a lot in my basement. But you guys are here, and we're all here together, and for that I thank you. And I say to all of you, and all of us, together, we're going to the moon!
We choose to go to the moon in this decade and do the other things, not because they are easy, but because they are hard.
There's nothing like an inspirational speech to motivate the masses. I hope I motivated you all. All over 50,000 of you. We're going to the moon, guys. I had a little inspiration there. I know, my speech was maybe not as polished, but hopefully achieving the same result to motivate you all to continue to grow this greatness that we are all involved in. Which I call Klaus's world, but it's your world too. We are all Klausians, including Windigox from the Brig clan. Shout out to you guys! I'm in the mood for a little yelling today, but I'm not going to yell, I promise. You don't. If you're wearing headphones, it's okay. It's okay. He's driving his Emil 1, and he's a regular guy. He doesn't have camo. He doesn't have the fancy consumables. He says he doesn't like this tank very much because it doesn't reload fast enough. But he plays it because he wants to get to the next one. He wants to keep moving forward like we all do. And we're going to watch his great game. And we're going to learn a little bit about being hulled down, which he is right now. He knows how to play this thing. He knows to just poke and just show his turret and bounce that IS-3A and shoot back. It's kind of... After all that hoopla, I mean, it's a little bit of a letdown watching the game, isn't it? But I digress. This is what we do. We watch these games and we live our lives and we try to be good people. And we try to... that little bit of enjoyment and joy that we derive from getting together every morning. Or some of you watch in the afternoon or the evening. And that is why I specifically pointed out that I'm not sure whether you have or have not wiped your own ass yet today. And I know I've generalized that there are some places on Earth and some cultures that do not, wipe. They spray or scrape or God knows what they do. But you are all welcome on my channel. I'll tell you that much. We are all Well, I wouldn't say equal, because that's disgusting what you guys do, some of you, but you are all welcome. It's everyone's right to have their own opinion, and I can have an opinion that I think what you do to your ass is disgusting if it doesn't involve paper. Okay? But let it do. Okay. Jeez. I tried to motivate and inspire, you know, in the footsteps of the great man himself, who was the most inspirational, probably, a person that I know. I mean, there's probably other ones, right? There's some French guys or Chinese guys that I have no clue about, because I don't know everything about history. I don't expect me to explain it all. I never promised you a rose garden. I just know what I know. You know, and that's how it works. You get taught different things, right? If you're from China, you probably don't know, because they don't teach you that. They teach you other stuff. You know, there was this great guy. He ate this specific kind of rice. He had a lot of people that liked him, and he built this big fucking wall. You know, you learn that. I'm paraphrasing, because I don't know. Don't get mad at me. I speak through ignorance, and I admit my ignorance. There's probably a French person, a Black Jacques Chirac, or whatever the hell his name was, that did something inspirational in the past that all of you Frenchmen know about, which I don't give a flying fuck about. I should, because if I researched history more, if we all knew a little bit more about history and what's happened on the earth, we wouldn't make the same fucking mistakes over and over. Am I right about that? Am I right about that? Sit back for 1 minute and just ponder this. If you knew, and I'm not talking about the government or the you know, if you're a world leader watching Klaus Kellerman's, well, then you're a loser. If you're watching me, you're a world leader, you should resign. That's besides the point. So this is not meant to, I'm not speaking now to the higher echelon in the world. I'm speaking to the regular schmoes, you and me and all the other losers that have nothing to do except watch YouTube and to listen to me and play a stupid game. You know, pay money for premium time and buy tanks because we're idiots, because we like to play games, because we have nothing else to do. Ponder this, you regular guys, just like what's his name here, Windex or whatever the hell your name is. If you understood, oh, let me back up. Like, wherever you're from, and I'll take the example. If you're Russian or if you're American, right? You have you live in two different realities. You have two different points of view. Now, ponder this for 1 second, you regular schmo Russians and you regular schmo Americans. And I'm using you as generalization for humanity as a whole. You have existed and lived and learned and gained through experience every molecule in your brain and every synapse that's firing and every bit of information that courses through your mind and brain is a product of what your experiences have been. And how the hell would you, either of you, know or understand or contemplate or be sympathetically viewing from the opposing point of view in any way? How would that be possible? It wouldn't be possible, because if you grow up in Russia, you learn one history, and if you grow up in America, you learn other history, right? And if you were an alien orbiting the Earth, taking notes, you'd know the truth. But there are no fucking aliens orbiting the Earth taking notes. Only us schmoes, us regular Joes, being told shit by people that just want to fuck us up. So, my point, to be inspiring and to point this channel to the moon and keep us growing, is I'm trying to make the point that you don't know, we don't know each other. We don't know how to appreciate each other. We don't know the hardships and the sacrifices and and all the shit about each other. So how the hell, why can't we just get along, is what I'm saying. There always has to be the bad guy, and we're all bad guys because the bad guy is the good guy from his point of view, and you're the bad guy. And we're either all good guys or we're all bad guys, depending on, you know, who, you get the point? Do you understand what I'm trying to say? In World War II, the Great War, where good fought evil. I can say this because I know a little bit about it, not a lot. I'm sure a lot of you, there are veterans that are subscribers and people that know more than me. But I can go out on a limb here and say that I believe that was one case where fundamentally on Earth, it was good versus evil. I don't know if you believe that, but I think that's close enough. And in that war, Russia and the United States were on the good side. They were on the same side. And did you know, I don't know how many of you know, maybe some of you do, maybe some of you don't, the United States made a big contribution to the war, and I believe by the end of the war had about, I'm guessing, but about 500,000 casualties. It's pretty close, and I don't mean disrespect or anything. I'm not looking it up. It's around that number. And did you know that the Russians, who were on the good side fighting evil, had plus or minus 25 million casualties? And they've always felt, from their perspective, that they're underappreciated, and the sacrifice they made has not been viewed by the West, and they have not been appreciated for that sacrifice they made for the world and humanity. I think I've got that just about right. I might be kind of wrong a little bit, and so then what they did is there was the Cold War and the conspiracies and the spies and all that shit, and they realized that what they should do is make a video game and like have World War II tanks in it and make all the Russian tanks better, because fuck you guys. That's what you get. That's why. You have to understand from the perspective through history, you know, why. That's why there's Russian bias in this game. You see where I'm going with this? It's all related. You can't escape. One thing, if a butterfly, if you sneeze and the butterfly, you scare the butterfly and it leaps from the daisy that it was nurturing and trying to get the nectar, and flutters its wings, it moves a molecule of oxygen that wouldn't have otherwise moved, which bumps into another one, which could, the chain reaction, which I could go on for another 15 minutes. Eventually, there's some poor guy in Bulgaria that falls off his fucking chair and breaks his hip. And he might get mad at his wife. Why didn't you push the fucking chair in? I sat down, I fell down, I broke my hip. And he could get divorced. And it's not her fault, is what I'm trying to say. You have to open your mind and hopefully he gets this thing capped out. And I think I haven't had my coffee yet, but in a roundabout way, remember the inspirational beginning, the speech, the inspirational speech I gave, inspired by a great man from the past. Open your minds and be ready to embrace the day in a way that maybe you haven't before. Go out there and try and see things. Look people in the eye and understand where they're coming from, and realize that they may have a different story that you are unaware of and maybe don't completely understand. And sometimes, instead of saying, what a fucking idiot, nod and smile and say, thanks for sharing that, man, or woman, or whatever the hell you say then. Back in the day, we used to say man all the time, but now you're not allowed to even fucking say that. So what the hell do I know? But so be inspired and go forth, guys, and let's continue to grow this channel together.